Sistas fans, hope everybody's doing well. This will be the final episode of Sistas for the month of January. Season 4, Episode 4, entitled The Night Game. Now, there have been a bunch of promo pictures that have been released from the episode over the past 24 hours. I did a video, on Andy, what is she smiling about? Or who has Andy smiling on the phone? And then when she's in a parking garage, is that security sign about surveillance camera, is that relevant to her particular apartment complex, or is that a spoiler that, oh yeah, there were security cameras in a parking garage at work? But this one is about Danni holding someone, I guess you could say, in a vulnerable position because she pulled a knife on somebody in her apartment. Now, based off what she's wearing, this is, of course, the ensemble or her night attire in the episode coming up. In the preview, we actually see El Fuego over at her apartment, and while Danny's sitting on the bed, El Fuego gets undressed. She's like, no. Oh, it's about that white boy, huh? So it seems that based on the promo, we know that there are two people who could possibly be at the apartment. Now, to be honest here, I don't think it's Preston. I mean, it could be Preston, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm more inclined to say that it's El Fuego. Now, even Trinity, aka Preston's actor on Instagram, he commented on the post on the Sistas account that said, "This has nothing to do with me." And I'm like, that could be effective misdirection, but here's the way I look at it. Look at how El Fuego responded to Danni kind of brushing him off at the airport when he thought, Danni and him would start dating, start being a thing after they spend the night together. And Danny's like, no, you're a stripper and everything. So we were just having a good time. We were just having fun. Basically saying you're friend zone, or you we're friends. We just had a good time together. But to El Fuego, it meant a bit more. And I'm like, Lord, please don't put El Fuego on the same, I guess you could say, path that Hayden went down after only one date / one night with Fatima, or Jacoby after that night he had with Sabrina at her apartment. I'm not saying that Danni deserves to be attacked or anything. No, I'm not saying that, but she obviously called El Fuego as a knee-jerk reaction or a reflex after, Preston left the salon with Tanya. And now that he's come over, she can't, do it with him. And as he says, oh, it's about the white boy, huh? So I'm guessing at that point, Danni moves away from the bedroom. El Fuego starts to get dressed. And then from there, instead of leaving, El Fuego kind of, speaks his mind, but there's probably some anger in his voice. And as a result, Danni winds up pulling the knife on him in order to make him go. Now, on the flip side, you could say it's Preston, but I don't believe Preston has a key. And also, it's late at night, I'm guessing. If the events of this episode take place around the same time, we know that the basketball game that Zach is going to is at 10 p.m. We do know the episode will move forward to the next morning as well. So, the argument could be made that, actually, no, let me hold on to that thought. Preston could come over after his date because he did say, I don't know if I like her yet, because Danny's like, do you like her? It's like, I don't know, but I'm going to find out. And he said, I'll call you. So to be honest, it would be a quote unquote Preston move to just show up, but I would think that he would call, even though he said he lost his phone, but I'm pretty sure he found it because Tanya was telling Karen that he was texting her while he was, she was at the salon. But basically, what I'm thinking is, El Fuego's going to catch an attitude, and it could be him that gets the knife pulled on him. Or Preston shows up, Danni lets him in. It's late at night, so hopefully that landlady wouldn't let him in the middle of the night. And then they start talking, and then it gets ugly, and then she pulls a knife, because if she does, that would just look horrible on her. So I'm willing to bet the knife is for El Fuego. Now, keep in mind, as I just said, the episode does run into the next morning, so it's quite possible that if El Fuego and Danni actually do spend the night together, the next morning, he catches an attitude. It's like, oh, okay, so you called me over for a booty call, but that's all I'm good for. And then, the verbal aggression escalates, and then that's when she pulls the knife, and then that's the last we see of El Fuego. Not to say that she kills him off, but it's just one of those things where El Fuego's going to exit. But this is an interesting dynamic because look at how Sabrina and Danni both handled booty calls in the middle of the night. Because Sabrina called Jacoby, again, in the middle of the night. He literally pulled a peppermint patty from a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving and invited himself over to her house. And then Sabrina panics and called Danni about it. And then it's like, yeah, it's a booty call. That's what you wanted. Wait, but no, you called him in the middle of the night, right? So then when Jacoby comes over, instead of leaving, he pulls out some weed, and then literally, despite her pleas for Jacoby to leave, he actually went up on inside of her, which, to be honest, she could have claimed assault on, because it's like, no, she wanted it. Just because she, quote unquote, wanted it, doesn't mean Jacoby should have did it, because remember, if you go back to that episode, I can't remember the exact episode. I think it was was it early season 1? I mean, not season 1. Was it during the first part of season 3? It was either the first part of season 3. Yeah, it definitely had to be season 3. Yeah, in the first half. Like, he literally just went in. Look, she was sitting on the island in her kitchen, or was it the counter? I forgot which one. And he literally went inside. Next thing you know, he's butt naked, and then Calvin comes over. But the difference in that situation is Sabrina, was like a little schoolgirl, but Danni ain't playing that. So that's what I think is the different dynamic there between how Sabrina handles things and how Danni handles things. Like I said before, I'm not saying that Danni deserves to be, threatened or anything, but this goes for anybody. Don't play with people's emotions. Like, just the fact that you don't know how things are going to turn at the drop of a hat. Like, you called El Fuego out of, a little bit of anger and jealousy and spite. Then you make him come over there, and then, basically says, I can't do this. And then he gets in his feelings. And I think the fact that that he's feeling you, and then you saw how he reacted at the airport, and then you basically want to treat him like an F buddy, but that's obviously not what he wants. So we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, out of Preston and El Fuego, I'm willing to believe that Danni is pulling the knife on El Fuego. This isn't the first time she's pulled a knife on somebody. She pulled a knife on Gary in season 1 when the girls went over there, or actually Gary showed up after the girls found out that the private eye, Leslie, had photos of him with other women. So it's just one of those things where, Danni ain't afraid to cut a mother.com. That's a reference to Barbershop too, by the way. But in any case, thanks so much for tuning in. That's really all I have for this particular video. Well, I said a lot more than I thought about this one photo. But tomorrow night, we will find out what things go down in Danni's apartment. Thanks so much for tuning in. So hit the thumbs up button to show you like the video. Hit subscribe as we close in on 200,000 subscribers. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. Hit the bell icon and select all. That way you don't miss out whenever I post content on the channel. And if you would like to donate, feel free to do so on PayPal or Cash App.